Our beach cottage design has completed the first story. If you're just joining us in the video or you're watching this in segments, we've completed the floor 1, and the next step we're going to do is we're going to draw floor 2, and it's going to create this style of a house. We'll inset the walls on the second floor, and then you'll notice there's a trellis on the roof above the patio or balcony, and we're going to create that as well. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to take our design and I'm going to close the 3D view here. And in our toolbar menu, I'm going to choose Build New Floor. And the program's going to prompt us if we want to derive this new floor from the main floor. I'll choose OK. And when we do this, you have the chance to change the ceiling and platform thicknesses. You'll see a diagram here in our dialog box on the right hand side, and then that correlates to the dimensions that you can set up. I'm going to go ahead and allow the defaults to remain, which is basically going to build an 8-foot ceiling for floor 2. Our main floor, by the way, was 9 foot. Let's go ahead and choose OK, build that second floor. You'll notice that my floor indicator here has changed to floor 2. And if I select this wall, you can pull that in and adjust the dimension. You can also simply highlight the dimension and enter in a value. Let's go ahead and set that to 34 feet. And we'll do the same for this dimension. We're going to set those walls in 6 feet. And finally, on this wall over here, let's go ahead and pull that off the edge. Let's move it in 10 feet. Enter in a value of 24 feet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my reference floor tool. That can be found over here in our menu bar. Let's go ahead and choose Reference Display. This reference display shows you the floor below. So you can see the outline, and if I actually toggle down, you can see that. And it displays then the second floor over the main floor. You can use this reference to help you lay out your walls in some cases. I'm going to use my wall tool, my exterior wall tool, and I'm just going to come in here roughly and create a shape. And we'll just add a couple walls in here. And then I'm going to break out this remaining wall using a break tool up here in the menu. And I'm just going to create a break on this wall and on this wall. And then I'm going to select both of those and press the delete key and remove those. I'm going to toggle off my reference display just for a minute. And with our dimension tool, I'm going to place our dimensions. And then I'm just going to go around and square this up. So first of all, I'm going to highlight this wall. And again, you can drag these walls or highlight the dimension. I'm going to set that to be 11 feet. And let's go ahead and highlight this wall. We'll set that to be 3'6". And then let's go ahead and grab this wall and we'll set that dimension here to be 2 feet. And then finally, let's grab this last dimension here and we'll set that to be 12 feet. I'm going to toggle back on my reference display here. And now you can see the floor below, and we've got this wall lined up below. So that will bear on that. And then this wall will bear on part of this wall. And if you happen to have been with us earlier, let's go down a floor. And I'm going to turn on our ceiling framing layer because we actually added a beam in here in anticipation. We would need that for bearing. And let's find our ceiling framing. And we'll turn that on just so we can see it. So you can see that if you zoom in here, we've got our beam that is going to bear the weight of the wall above. So if we go up, we've got that wall that will bear on the beam and then this wall. The next step we want to do with our house is we want to create our balcony. And if we take a look at our photo, we want to create an opening that's inset on the second floor, and then we'll have the balcony go out and extend out on the floor. So to do that, I'm going to use my wall tool, and when I do that, I want the wall to look a little bit different in the plan view, and I have actually set up a railing wall. You can see the color difference for the exterior wall. And let's come in here, and I'm going to drag out our railing wall, and we'll just align that off the top. And the first thing is I'm going to want to flip this wall around because I want the siding on the other side. Based on the way the photo appears, the back side of this wall will hit the roof, and I'm going to want to have the exterior siding on that wall. So I'm going to select the wall, and down here in the toolbar, you'll have a tool that allows you to flip the direction of the wall. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on that wall, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to specify that it is a railing. And I'm going to remove this raised shoe, and it's a solid railing. Okay. Let's bring this railing around to the side to form our balcony. And I'm just grabbing this diamond and we're connecting it in. I'm off slightly, so let's snap that into place. And if that wall's not quite aligned exactly, you'll find a tool in your toolbar, align wall with wall below. And let's go ahead and select this wall because it looks like I got that off when I drew it. Align with wall below. And now I've got that exactly set up to be below the wall. I'm going to highlight the two end walls here and double click to open them. I'm going to go back into the railing, and first of all I'm going to have balusters on this side, so I'm going to choose that option. And then the next thing I'm going to do is, if I want to change the balusters, you can do that. You can go into the library and set that up. I'm going to change the null width. That wall that we were using is 7 1/4 inches wide. So I've got very wide newels that will match it. And let's see, we also want to choose, the railing is fine. Come back in here for the handrail. And I'm going to choose an automatic width. That way it will follow the top of the wall, which is 7 1/4 inches. Set that up. And now the final thing that I'm going to do, I'm not going to worry too much about the exact dimension, but I'm going to pull this wall back here just a little bit, and I'm going to create a outcropping because I'm going to set a set of spiral stairs in here. And let's go ahead and pull that back down. And I'm going to have this, let's go ahead and pull this out here just a little bit. Something like 4 feet. Just enter in 4 feet. And we'll just do the same. Okay. The final thing that we want to do before we take a 3D overview is I want to create, if you look at the photo one more time, let's drag that back in here. We've got this wall as a gable, we've got this wall as a gable, so there's a ceiling over part of our balcony. Let's pull this over here a little bit. We're looking at this balcony right here that has the trellis roof style. So there's a partial roof over that section, but not over the far end section. So what I'm going to do is, in Chief Architect, there's actually a wall type called an invisible wall. That will give us the ability to define this section and put a roof over a part of it. And let's choose this room over here. And let's force it not to have a roof. So I'm going to remove the roof and ceiling. And as long as I'm in here, let's go ahead and give it the type of balcony room. And let's just double check this room here. We'll also give it a type of balcony. But we do want a roof over this section. We may not want a ceiling over that, but we do want a roof over it. Okay? Now the final thing is, again, let's bring in our photo. The final thing is we want to set this roof style, because our default roof style we built was a hip. We want this roof and this roof to be a full gable. So if we go back in, and I'm going to highlight this wall here, let's go ahead and toggle that to a gable. And then for this, let's go ahead and toggle that to a gable. And finally, let's go down a floor, and we'll toggle this to be a gable wall. That should do it. So now we should be ready to take our 3D view. We'll choose the full perspective overview. And there's our roof. And again, if you want to modify these roof planes, you can. This roof was built entirely with the automatic roof tool in the program. Now that we have the roof on the second floor, I'm going to add the windows. We'll move into the interior, add the inside walls and doors. And then I'm going to complete the framing, update the framing to include the second floor. And then we're going to modify the roof trellis. Again, let's bring up the picture. This is what we're after. We want to create a trellis over the balcony. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to move to the main floor, add the stairway that connects the two platforms, add a set of spiral stairs on the outside. And then the final step will be to do our sections and elevations for the construction documents. We'll use the layout pages and facility within the program. So I'm going to move on and place a few windows in here. Use the window tool, and let's go ahead and open up this window. Maybe we'll make it, double click on it here and open it up. And I want to make this window casement, and let's set the floor to top to 84 inches. We have an 8-foot ceiling in here. And I think that's good. Let's create a copy of that, slide it over here. And now I'm going to bring up both our 2D and 3D views. And I want to block these or mold these windows together. So let's zoom in here a little bit. And let's just go ahead and bump this. I want to make sure that that's exactly 5 inches apart. So I'm just going to select that dimension, set it to 5 inches apart. And then I'm going to group select both of these windows. Use the center tool, and I'm going to center it right on the front of the gable. And let's go ahead and add a couple other windows on the side of the house here. Let's create a copy of that. We'll rotate around. And actually, let's open up these windows. We want to make these a little bit shorter for the bedroom, so I'm going to set those to be 42 inches apart. You notice that I selected both of the windows, and I can make changes to a group of objects. And let's create one more copy of that window, so we have 3 of these windows on the side. And I'll just slide that out. Choose the dimension here. We want it to be 5 inches apart. And I'm going to group select all of these windows here. And let's go ahead and set this dimension to be 3'6" off the edge of the wall. And we'll position that into place. And now I'm going to create a copy. I still have those 3 windows selected. I'm going to create a copy of those. I'm going to use my reflect about down here in the lower left. And we're just going to center that around the middle of the structure here. and it places that exactly in the same position on the other side. And I'm going to create one more copy here. And let's go ahead and place those over here. And if I highlight the outside of this, I get my outside dimension. Again, I want to set that to be 3'6". And I'm going to place one more copy of these windows on the other side. So again, I'm going to hit my copy button and we'll just place these over here. And I'm going to use the center button again. And I might just center that over here. Well, there we go. Okay, now the final thing that I'm going to do with the windows, when I frame this, I want it to frame the windows as a single unit. So I'm going to block these windows together. It's also called mulling. So I'll highlight in the gable here. And then in the lower menu here, it says Make Mold Unit. What that's going to do for us is when we do the framing, it will frame that as a single opening. So I'm just going to select these windows. I probably could have done this before I did the copy operation, and then I wouldn't have to select each one of them and block them together. But when you mull your windows, again, the advantage there is it's going to create a single opening when we do our framing. I'm going to go down to the main floor here real quick. I'm going to grab this particular sliding door that we have for the back of the house, copy it. I hit the Control-C button, and then I'm going to paste that, and you'll notice I get a snap indicator. I'm going to paste that on the wall up here. Let's maximize our 3D view, and we'll just rotate around and see what we've got so far. I'm going to select this door, and the floor downstairs is an 8-foot door. Let's go ahead and set that to be, let's actually set this to be 7 foot or 84 inches by 84 inches. And we'll make that a little bit smaller door. So that'll be a problem with our ceiling. So we've got our windows, and let's go ahead. Plants are getting away. Let's go ahead and move into the inside and place our interior walls and doors, and then we'll move on to the framing. Let me close the 3D view down, and I want to add some interior walls. I'm going to use my overview camera, also known as our dollhouse. You can see this. I'm going to split my screen. And I'm going to use my interior wall tool and we'll just drag a few interior walls in here. So I'm going to just choose my interior wall tool. And we'll create some interior walls. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reduce this window by 1. Let's go ahead and open that window up here and delete that. I'm going to unblock the window here. Use the unblock command, we'll delete the window, and then I'll just reblock them. That'll give us a little bit more space for the interior wall. And we'll draw one more wall in here so we can put a bathroom in between the 2 bedrooms that we're laying out. And then maybe one little utility closet and an area for the bathtub. Now, remember, you can continue to edit in either the 2D or the 3D view. And let's go ahead and move that back. But when you draw certain things, whether it's elevation view or in a plan view, sometimes it's easier to draw in particular views. Drawing walls is typically the easiest in a 2D view. Okay, I'm going to break out this last wall in here because I want this to be an open area so we can get into this bedroom. Just remove that, and then we'll come in here and add a closet for this bedroom. But the first thing I want to do is I want to move down to the main floor and put our stairway in so it will come up in this area. I'm on floor 1 of our plan, and I want to use our stair tool and drag a set of stairs. We're going to create a U-shaped set of stairs in this area right in here. that will extend between the first and second floor and then cut a hole in our platform. So I'm going to select our stair tool here, and we're going to drag a set of stairs. The first set up on this side, and then the next set up on this side. And when I do this, I'm going to want to open the stairs. And when we open the stairs, like all of the objects in Chief Architect, you can change all of the attributes about the object. You'll see a number of tabs up here. And the one in particular that I'm after is on the handrail on the second set. I'm going to remove the railing off of the left-hand side. And then we're going to do the same thing for this stair. And the difference on this one is we want to remove it off of the right side. So we'll just have a handrail on the one edge where we have our balusters. Choose OK. And now the final step is to click between them, and the program will automatically create a landing. And now if I take a 3D view, choose my camera. Actually, before we take our 3D camera view, let's click on this stair, and in the lower left-hand section of our screen, you'll see an auto stairwell tool. I'm going to click that. That actually cuts a platform in the hole in the floor, and you can see as I move up to floor 2 that the stairwell has automatically been formed. Now let's go ahead and use our 3D camera view and take our view. So the stairs have the railing on the side that we want, and you can see that here's our platform. And earlier in the video we actually had put a doorway in here, and I guess in this case we were going to use it for the dog. And using the stairs you can create a variety of styles in Chief Architect, including curved, obviously straight. You can choose the railing style, and the program also includes a ramp tool for any ADA access or ramp tools that you need. With our stairs in place, the next step is to calculate our headroom. We have a 9-foot ceiling on our main floor, and we want to make sure that our headroom has sufficient clearance, and we also want to optimize the space in the house so that we don't have any extra headroom or extra floor space we're not taking advantage of. I'm going to close the 3D view. I'm going to use a cross-section camera, and we actually have a camera called the backclip cross-section. And what this allows us to do is to draw a very small slice, so I can go from point A to point B and just slice that section of our model. As I zoom in, you can see that here's our stair platform, and here's the second story platform. And to create the headroom, I'm going to draw a CAD line. Press W on the keyboard for a shortcut. And then I'm going to use my dimension tool, and I'm going to drag a dimension down. And I've determined that I want my headroom to actually be 6 foot 10 inches. So I'm going to set that line that I drew exactly 6 foot 10. The next thing I'm going to do is draw another line, and I want this line to be parallel to the stairs. Just to check, I've got a Make Parallel tool. You can see this down in the toolbar on the left, bottom left. And I'm going to click on the stairway, and that will set that exactly parallel to the stair. And I'm going to set this just on the nose of my treads. Now I'm going to take our original line that we drew, and I'm going to intersect that with the line. And you can see that it comes in just pretty close to this tread right here. So to have 6 feet, 6 foot 10 of clearance, I could pull this platform back. Let's go ahead and draw a line. I can draw that platform back this distance. Let's draw one more line. And then we'll use our dimension tool. And I'm just doing this for the purpose of the video. So I can pull this upper railing back just a little bit over 2 foot 8. and still have plenty of headroom to meet our 6-foot 10-inch clearance. Let's tile our views, and I'm going to take and move up to our second level. Let's go ahead and zoom in here a little bit. So the railing that we're talking about is right here, and so I can simply highlight that railing and pull it back 2 foot 8 inches. But I actually have the entire railing selected, which includes the down section of the stairs. So to make this adjustment, I'm going to break this railing using my break tool, and I'm just going to click in here and create a break. I'm going to pull this railing back 2 foot 8. It's not quite exact. You can see that I didn't draw that line in there right up to the edge. So I'm going to highlight our dimension here, and I'm going to subtract 2 foot 8 from there. That should make that about 8 foot 8. I did my math right. Try that again. Hit an extra key. 8 foot 8 inches. So that's going to pull that back, and you can see that our platform extended through. It's because I broke the railing, and now I'll just reconnect that. And so we've adjusted the railing back, and you can use this tool to help you optimize your floor space, and you can also use it to detail out your sections. If I open up one of our sample plans here, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see here's an example of adding more detail to your section that we were just working with. Chief Architect includes a variety of CAD tools that you can use to detail your design out, as we just had shown in the previous image on the section. It also includes in the library over 500 different CAD details. If we come down into the CAD block section, you'll find the various categories for these details, and they're all architecturally correct. I'll just place 1 or 2 of these in here, zoom in. And then you can overlay these onto your design, and you can unblock these and customize them as you need to. You can import DXF, DWG, so a lot of manufacturers that you may use support those, AutoCAD compatible, and import those in. And if you have to draw or make any changes to a CAD detail, you can do that and then group select it and save it back into your library and save yourself a little time. I've done that for our foundation wall. Our foundation wall is a different size, so I saved a precise size of that, and now I can just pull it out of the library and place that. First thing is I need to flip it, so I'm going to use my transform replicate, and I'm just going to simply reflect it and flip it, and then I'll just position that into place. So I could have used my point-to-point move, but for the purpose of this video I can just set it up. And now here's the detail already added in there, and it's a great way to save yourself some time and not need to draw the details for your plans. And as I mentioned, if you do draw any details or modify any of these, save them back into your library, create a folder, and then you can quickly use them and save yourself some time. We need to update the framing since we've added our second floor. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and come in here and I'm going to add our doors, and I'm also going to add a space for another closet in both of these rooms. I'm designing in both a 2D and 3D view. You can do your design work. Let's go ahead and pull that door in here. You can do your design work in either view. Pull that door swing around. You can see how you can adjust those. Let me go back into my 3D view. And as I mentioned, we can place these doors in either of the views. And I may grab both of these doors here and add those as pocket doors. So we'll just double click to open those up. And we'll change those to a pocket door. Make that a Jack and Jill bath. And we'll add one more door in here. And then we'll add a couple of bifold doors for the closet. Let's go ahead and make that a little bit larger door. Use the center button. Center it on the room. I'm going to hit Control C for copy and then Control V for paste. Paste that over here. Let's go ahead and flip those doors out. Let's move on and rebuild our framing. Come into our wall framing. I'm going to rebuild it. Notice there's an option to automatically have the wall framing update. You may find that's beneficial to have that on sometimes. I haven't been using that with this plan. And since we have built our second floor, we have our roof, so I'm going to choose our build roof framing. Again, there's an automatic option if you want to have that set. So the program is prompting me to turn this layer on, and I'm actually not going to turn it on for our floor plan. We'll get this message for each one of the layers that's being rebuilt. And let's go ahead and take a 3D overview of our framing. Maximize this. So we can see our framing, and the first thing we're going to notice is we need to support this roof. I'll do that with a column and post and beam to support that. And there's different views we can toggle on, so you can see through that. Sometimes these views are easier to see. And the next step that we want to do is in this section of the, if you take a look at the photo in the bottom right, we want to expose part of the framing and form a trellis. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to do that. Close this framing view, and let's go ahead and take a regular overview. And what I want to do, let's go ahead and zoom in here. I want to take this view and I want to add our roof framing so we can see that as we expose this. So I'm going to come down in and find our framing section for the roof. And I'm going to make sure that layer is on, which it is. And if we toggle on our glasshouse view, let's go ahead and press Shift F6 on the keyboard here. Bring up both of our views, and I'm also going to expose that roof framing layer on our floor plan. And actually, maybe what I'll do here is let's change our layer set to the roof plan set. So we can see this is overlaid on top of our floor plan. And the first thing I'm going to do, this is the roof plane that we have selected. I'm going to make sure that our automatic roof is not on, because if I make changes to that, it'll instantly update it. So if we zoom in to this section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these lookouts and I'm going to highlight each one of those, and then I'm going to press the delete key and remove those. Now let's come over here with our framing tools, and I'm going to add our blocking, and I'm just going to come in here and add some blocking. And once I have that blocking in place, I'm going to highlight that, and then I'm going to select my multiple copy. You'll find that down here in the lower left menu. And I've got that to be 12 inches every time I make a copy of that, that's a good number. Let's go ahead and create a series of copies down here. And if we zoom into the 3D view, you can see what's going on. Now that I've got those set up, let's highlight our roof plane, and let's pull this section of the roof back. So to do that, I'm going to use my brake tool. You see up here in the lower left menu, brake, and I'm just going to click right here where that rafter is. You can see a diamond that forms, and I'm just going to pull that roof section back so we can expose that. And let's go ahead and toggle back on our regular render view. So we can see that we've formed this exposed trellis, and I can use my material painter, and I can select this, and then I can paint individual components here. And we'll just go through and paint each one of those. It would have been a little quicker for me to maybe paint these before I did a multiple copy, but that's okay. The reason I'm not painting all is if I want my materials list to be accurate, I wouldn't want to paint every one of these members, since it would paint the entire roof frame. The next step that we want to do is we want to create a framing member post and beam to support this roof section. To place the column, I'm going to open up the library, and we're going to type the word column in here, and we'll see if we can find a profile that will work for our design. And I'm going to choose just one of these. Let's go ahead and pull our view out just a little bit. I'm just going to place this out here where we can see it a little bit. And if I double click on this column, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the height and the width and depth. So let's start with 92 inches in height, and we'll do a 12 by 12. So that's going to create a much larger column. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pull that back into approximate position. If we zoom out here just a little bit, let's see if we can line that up with the wall. I'm not going to worry too much about the exact location of it. Now the next thing we need to do is place a beam in here. And with our framing tools, you can use the beam tool. Or alternatively, we can also use our slab tools. So I'm going to go ahead and just use a slab tool, and I'm going to draw a beam right through this section. Let's go ahead and open this up, and roughly we're going to want that to be pretty high. So I'm going to use 222 inches, and I'm going to create an 8 by 8 beam. And as long as I'm in here, let's choose the layer that it's going to be on. And I've got a layer called CAD framing. So let's choose CAD framing for the layer. And then let's also go ahead and set this dimension in here to make it an 8 by 8. And then we can center that roughly on the beam. And let's go ahead and open up that column. And let's also change that to be from millwork to our CAD framing layer. Okay. Now, one of the things that we may want to do here, let's go ahead and take our cross-section view. And again, I'm going to use the back clip. And let's just clip through from this point to this point. And let's see how we've got this set up. You can see where the beam is resting nearly on the top. We had a pretty good guess, so we can just grab that and snap it down on top of the post. And now we've got our support for that. And maybe we'll just pull that back here just a little bit. Let's go back into our 3D view. Let's maximize this. And now we can actually come in here and fix the colors and materials of these two elements that we just added. Again, I'm going to use my material eyedropper. Come in here, choose the color that I want, and we'll just apply that then to the two components. Our design work is nearly finished in this plan. You'll notice that I have my split screen up, and one of the many camera tools that we have up in the toolbar in the upper right hand section of your screen are different filters that you can simply toggle on. Right now I've got the line drawing toggled on. You can move over to the watercolor, click that, and you can see the results. We've also got a variety of others, technical illustration, and then our standard vector view, and then our traditional render view. And then the last rendering camera that you don't see up here is our ray trace camera. Ray trace allows you to get very realistic images, and we actually have a wizard available that will walk you through all of the steps. You can do indoor, outdoor, set the quality, and it will allow you to easily set the different information as you do your ray trace. You can see that here are options for sunny, nighttime, overcast, focal blur, so just like the photography, and then it will begin your ray trace. It will take a little while to run, but it will allow you to get all the different images out and put them on your construction documents or put them on your website to share with your clients. Our final step is to create our construction documents. To do your construction documents, I'm going to open up a new layout. A layout is where we actually send all of the construction documents that we have on our screen. Any view, whether it's an elevation, a floor plan, a cross-section, foundation plan, framing plan, and you can easily send these out. Let's return back into our plan file. You zoom out here. And I'm going to use a tool to create our elevations. Let's go into our 3D. And you'll see a tool for auto elevations. And I'm going to automatically place these elevations. Once the elevation cameras are placed, all you have to do is double click on the camera, and it will open up the detail of that elevation. And here you can add additional text, add your any details for your sections, overlay CAD details. And let me just grab our text tool here. And we'll just come in here and place a couple of items. Let's put in here and maybe we'll add one more in here. I'm just going to copy that. And then you can also add your dimensions in here. Use my dimension tool. And you can create nice details with this. Let me close down this section. And I've already done some additional work on our front elevation. Let me just open up that camera. So here is our front elevation. Now if I want to send this out to our layout page, which we'll use for our construction documents, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say send to layout. And here is where you can specify the scale of your drawing. So in this case, my default is 1/4 inch. You can then also define what layout page you want it to send to. And then we'll go ahead and select OK. And once this goes to our layout page, it will open up that particular page. And then we can add the additional information, whether it's a CAD box or call out or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and move this front elevation. And if we return back to our plan, I'll just double click on our back elevation, and then I'll send that out to the layout page as well. Again, you can set the scale, set the page number, choose OK. And the great thing about the information on the layout page are these files are always linked. So if you double click on this item, it will open up the plan. If you make a change to the windows, add something, make a change, anything that you do will automatically be linked to that, so you're never going to be out of sync. Now I'm going to send our floor plan out to our layout page. And when I send the floor plan out, I don't want any of my interior items to show up. So I'm going to turn off some of these layers. The other thing we can do is we can actually use layer sets. I've got a number of layer sets that we can choose from. You can create your own. But I've created a layer set called floor plan set. I'm going to toggle that on. And it turned off my interior furniture and other items that you can exclude. And if we zoom in here, you can still see I have electrical on. And when I send my floor plan out to the layout page, I don't want my electrical. So I'm going to open up the individual layers in this floor plan layer set. And I'm going to just simply toggle off any electrical that may be on. Now I can send this out to our layout page. And when I send this out to the layout page, I'm going to change this scale to 1/2 inch. And I'm also going to send it to page 2. Click OK. So we see that the 1/2 inch scale we sent it out was much too large for our 24 by 36 sheet of paper. We can always rescale that. Let's go ahead and change that back to 1/4 inch. If you do your interior wall elevations, 1/2 inch is a nice scale to use. So here's my 1/4 inch scale. One more item let's send to our layout. Let me return back to our floor plan. And I'm going to change my layer set now to landscaping. And I want to send this out to the layout sheet. We'll try 1/4 inch. That may be a little bit larger. Your landscaping or your plot plan, you may want to send at a much smaller scale. Let's go ahead and try that. And again, we get the error message, it's too large. So let's rescale that. Simply select the scale. And I'll change that to 1/8. And we'll go ahead and center that. You'll notice that I have a title block in here. I haven't really filled this out. You can detail this out. We have a master sheet on page 0, so if you want to come in here and you can open this up, put your client information. This is a template, this particular layout sheet that I have. You can set your own templates out, customize it, add your logos to create your construction documents. The house that we've been working on here, you can actually get a full set of these construction drawings. I'm just going to open one up that is already on our website. We'll get the house that is in this video on the website by the time it's published. But you can use the renderings, combine this with your construction documents, your presentation views, put your notes in here. Here's an example of the site plan. All of these have been drawn using Chief Architect. You can get a look at these in the website under the User Center and download some of these as sample plans, watch the additional videos. And I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching the videos. If you have any questions, remember we have webinars, we have training videos. If you're new to Chief Architect, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. And I wanted to thank everybody for watching.